Hello everyone, this is Marie Blue Angel, and I am here today with Under the Stars one more time so that we can look at the secret route, which involves the Jester. We've already been able to see both Ezekiel and Leon's routes, and they were both so very lovely. So yeah, we have to see the secret route and see exactly what the Jester is up to. The game dev, Helen. Hi, Helen. I love your game, by the way. I feel like I've said it so many times, but I love it. And I'm very excited to see the secret route. Helen has just posted recently a walkthrough of the game, and I needed it, truthfully, because I was trying to figure out how to get to the secret route, and I thought it was simply that I had to click on the mirror a couple of times in Dulari's room without any really like a real regard for the choices I made. But basically, I need to commit to two choices, and they have to be opposite each other um, in the game. And so the two choices we do get are when, at the beginning, Dulari's kind of asking, or is kind of thinking about what kind of story she would want, and whether it'd be like for her life, a story for her life, and whether that be melancholic or a fun story. And I don't know why I didn't think about this, but melancholic is related to Leon, while fun is related to Ezekiel. Um, so honestly, I'm kind of surprised that I even got onto the routes that I got on when I played Ezekiel's route and Leon's route. Like, I didn't know either one of them, and so I apparently made the correct choices, and I went onto their routes without any problem. So I have to choose one of those, and then choose a choice that is associated with the other love interest. So if I choose fun story, then I have to choose watch the moon and talk to Leon. Or if I choose melancholic story, then I have to choose sit by the fireplace to see Ezekiel. So I'm gonna load us into the first choice. Or maybe I'll load us into where I have to click the mirror. But give me a second. This is gonna be fun. I'm very excited about this. Okay. I changed my mind. I'm loading us in when I make the first choice. So I would want it to be a fun story. Fun story. Okay, and then I'm gonna pause again and see.
All these years stuck in this maddening dilemma made me want to experience something fun.
Me too, Dulari, I get that. Okay, we'll be back. Okay. I don't know when I'm supposed to click the mirror. But I was told in the walkthrough that I need to click it twice. So I'm gonna click it twice here. And then we're gonna leave the room. And I'll be back. Okay, I am back, and this is the choice, the second choice in the game, where Dulari needs to choose whether she'll watch the moon or sit by the fire. And since I clicked Fun Story, which is associated with Ezekiel, I'm going to click Watch the Moon, which is associated with Leon. So let's see. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna skip. Not that I don't love this scene, but I'm gonna skip. I got it! The secret route. The lonely jester.
Where?
Ooh, the yellows.
Lunest? It was easy to recognize. This was one of the streets of Lunest, the kingdom I would inherit someday. Peasants walked around, busy with their daily lives. Their kids screamed and ran, playing games. And in the middle of the street, there was someone holding a shiny mirror. Someone barely recognizable. The jester.
Oh, there they are. Oh, it looks so sad looking at their mirror.
They were staring firmly at the reflection, almost as if they didn't hear me. Their hands caressed the mirror, but the reflection didn't mimic them. And from the mirror, darkness started to emerge.
Right, the jester uses dark magic, so maybe this is one of their first encounters with dark magic. And maybe we're getting backstory about how they got to develop dark magic. Oh, yep, the darkness is here. Hello. I like how the art is here to showcase the darkness, like the different brush strokes. It looks really cool.
Slowly, everything started to get dark, silent, sad. All life disappeared, but the Jester was weirdly calm, almost as if they were used to it. Tell me something, Princess. Do you know what true solitude feels like? How it feels to be completely alone in the world. You don't, do you? Because there's always someone looking out for you. Always looking out for the Princess of Lunest. Nobles fill their bellies until they throw up. Well, there are people starving on the streets. Things were like this before and will continue to be. Stupid nobles die, and they throw great funerals to honor their terrible reign, while good peasants are killed and thrown into the forest. Things were like this before, and will continue to be. Then the Jester looked at me. A strange mixture of sarcastic mockery and sincere pain was battling in their yellow eyes. Their hands turned into fists. I felt tears coming through my eyes, slowly making their way over my face. Oh, Princess Dulari, the world is unfair, isn't it?
Okay, I gotta remember that that was my Jester voice. It was higher pitched. And yes, okay.
The dream was fading, everything slowly waking up to reality. But before that, I managed to say one last whisper. It doesn't need to be.
Dulari is the change for the future, for Lunest as a kingdom. She will be a wonderful ruler, I'm sure. I mean, Dulari does have like a different perspective from what we've seen. Um about like life and everything. So, I think that will come in handy once she inherits the throne. Hello, Jester. I didn't think I would see King Saruba here for whatever reason. Huh? Did you fall asleep? Was it a nightmare?
Why?
You're crying.
There was a single tear crossing the Jester's face. They hastily wiped it off, annoyed. I'm not.
Then help me.
They started to move furniture around the room, trying not to make too much noise.
Oh, okay, so this is the noise that Dulari heard the first night of when people started arriving to celebrate her birthday.
And then I woke up. Huh? I could hear faint noises coming from somewhere, like furniture being moved from one place to another. Could it be the Jester? But that was a dream, right? I was so confused. I got out of bed, determined to investigate that strange coincidence.
Okay, we're going. Oh, I'm a little... Stay safe, Dulari.
The noises continued even after I left the room. Surprisingly, Ezekiel wasn't out there on guard duty. His absence made me feel uneasy.
Oh no, where's Ezekiel? I mean, maybe he's like taking a break or like something. When would you take a break? Realistically, when does Ezekiel get to take a break as like Dulari's bodyguard? Like, actually, is he just like 24/7? I mean, I'm yes, there are other people like other guards, but that's a hard job to have. He needs to sleep. But why wasn't he here? It's at night. I don't know. I'm conflicted, but like he needs to sleep, but also he's not there, and Dulari is like not like. Is there not another guard at least? But she's worried about him, which understandably she is, because I am.
Could something have happened? walked through the courtyard toward the Jester's room. I would have gotten lost if I had tried to follow the noise, because it echoed throughout the castle. The sounds were getting louder and louder, and a feeling of dread began to take over me. What were they doing? I couldn't help but wonder. My curiosity was strangely piqued that night, as if I'd been waiting for that opportunity for a long time.
Okay.
When I got to the door to the Jester's room, though, I found another surprise. Oh, both of them were here. Ezekiel and Leon were crouched by the door, listening intently to the noises. Hello. They were both startled when they saw me, but tried to keep their surprise inside their whispers.
Dulari.
Dulari.
That's also a whisper. What are you doing here?
I should be the one asking this question. The two looked at each other, talking without a word. Leon sighed.
You first. The king was worried about the Jester's display earlier. He asked me to keep an eye on them. And I've been investigating my father for a few days now. He's been acting weirder than usual.
Oh.
Why are you here? Dulari's so cute, look at her.
I'm just curious.
Look at them, both smiling. We're all smiling, we love that. Dulari's so adorable, like, again, precious, too precious for this world, but I believe in her and her future. It's great. Dulari will make the most out of her life, and I know it. Whatever way that feels great for her, it'll be wonderful.
The two looked at each other again, sharing silent disapproval and amusement.
That's very much like you.
I also had a dream where... But before I could finish my sentence, the door handle opened, surprising us. But instead of a person, we were greeted by a profound darkness that silently enveloped us.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, where are we going, guys? Where's the darkness taking us? I'm a little scared. Oh.
I woke up on my bed once again. Huh? Another dream? But I could have sworn that... Someone knocked on the door.
Princess, are you awake yet?
I
can't yawn on command.
I am. I ran to open the door. On the other side, Ezekiel was waiting for me with his usual jolly expression.
The king is having a picnic in the courtyard and asked me to summon you.
That's right. I'll be there shortly.
Princess.
He stared at me with a worried expression.
Do you remember anything from last night?
You mean the ball, or... what happened after?
So you do remember. I'm glad we're talking about it, because that was too much of a vivid dream.
It wasn't a dream, then?
No, it was very real. And I'm afraid that you might be in danger. Oh, ease.
Danger?
Can I ask you something?
Say it.
Stay close to us as much as you can. Don't go anywhere alone, especially if it's far away. Serious bodyguard mode. I love it.
Us?
Oh, your friend, I mean. The prince guy. Oh, Ezekiel's adorable.
I think he means Leon.
Mm-hmm. Whatever happens, please tell us, okay?
Okay. He smiled to reassure me, but I was concerned. Suddenly, everything felt dangerous, as if someone could ambush me in any corner.
Okay, I turned the music down just a little bit. I wasn't sure if it was loud, but it was sounding a little loud in my headphones, so hopefully this is a little better now. But okay, so the plan is that Dulari, Ezekiel, and Leon are all going to stick together while the three of them solve, hopefully, this mystery. Because it is kind of suspicious that they were trying to investigate what was happening, but they all woke up in their beds and remembered the not dream.
As if he could read my mind, Ezekiel stayed close to me the whole way until we reached the picnic. The courtyard was filled with nice chatter from the guests. They seemed to be in a good mood, which was a contrast to my worries. At least it was comforting. If anyone else was as nervous as me, I wouldn't know what to do. The wind was calm, a nice breeze filling the atmosphere. It was a beautiful day, I had to admit. The sun shone proudly in the sky. I sat away from King Saruva, trying to hide my distrust. To be honest, I did everything I could to pretend that I didn't remember last night. It was going well until... "Oh, my dear princess!" Hearing their voice made me freeze. They looked as they usually did, though. Smiling, chatty, but at the same time, there was a strange aura to them.
Okay, yes. Dulari, be on your toes. You're already doing it, but she can continue to remain on your toes, Dulari. We can't trust the I mean, we don't know more information yet, but the Jester is trying to help King Saruva, it seems, and there's a scheme there, and there's stuff with the darkness that allows the Jester to use dark magic. So there's a plot here, an evil, most likely evil scheme. Not, you know what? Evil might be a strong word. But there's a plot here. I can't use the word scheme because I use scheme in a very positive light. I basically use scheme as making plans, but I also can't say evil scheme. It's just a not so good, not so positive plot. Something is going to happen.
Is the picnic to your liking? As much as it can be. Wow, picky, I see. Fitting for the next Queen of Lunest. Please don't remind me of that. Oh, why not? It is your destiny. You need to be reminded about it every once in a while. Or else you'll just forget everything.
I don't know what kind of laugh I wanted to do, but I've been practicing more of a maniacal laugh, and that's what came out. Okay.
I looked away uncomfortable. Things were already complicated, and now that anxiety about becoming queen was just going to make me feel worse. I wished I could just flee from the conversation.
Oh, Leon. Stop bothering her.
Leon stood right behind the Jester, a cold expression on his face.
Can't you see your princess is not in the mood to talk?
Oh, she isn't? How did you notice? They gave a sarcastic laugh as if mocking him. Leon stood still, glaring at them silently. Ah, so that's the amazing power of those under the star of sensibility, I see. It's a shame, though. I'll make sure to put on an amazing show to rip a smile off her face.
Huh? Have I not heard that expression, rip a smile off her face? Anyways, I assume put a smile on her face, but okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, the Jester is doing the Jester things. Okay. Get lost.
Harsh, aren't you? Perhaps you are especially sensitive today. Leon just continued to stare at them. Fine. They sighed dramatically, leaving us alone. Leon gave a sigh himself, sitting beside me. Thank you, Leon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The morning continued as slowly as it could. I was starting to feel bored, anxious, and annoyed all at the same time. From time to time, I tried asking Leon some questions, but he answered briefly as if also bored and anxious. Maybe we were both too worried that we couldn't think straight.
Possibly, to be honest. I'd be like so like nervous at this point. Like I don't even know what to do with myself. I couldn't, like, even if I wanted to enjoy the birthday festivities, like I wouldn't be able to. But Dulari also is contending with a lot and dealing with how she feels about turning a year older and being closer to inheriting the throne. When does she become like queen? Like, at what point would she become queen? Like, it'd be relatively soonish. I would assume in the next 5 years, if not a little sooner. But who knows? I'd like to hear that lore. Yeah, when does the Lunes Kingdom royalty come to their throne? I don't know.
His eyes were following King Saruva, watching his every step. I couldn't see anything weird in the king's actions, so I started to feel curious. Leon? Did you say your father was acting weirder than usual? He looked at me a bit reproachful, as if I was saying it too loud.
Yes.
How so? Leon looked away, trying to organize his thoughts into a sentence that would make sense, but weren't too revealing at the same time.
His eyes are strange. It's like he's plotting something.
I gulped, looking in the direction of King Saruva. He was laughing, talking, nothing out of the ordinary. I couldn't see whatever Leon was seeing, and that was a bit scary. How many dangers were I overlooking all this time?
Don't worry. We won't let anything happen.
When I looked back to Leon, he was staring at me with determination. Lee?
Yeah, me and the guard guy. Why can't you guys just say each other's names? You guys are so cute. The one that keeps following you everywhere.
I think he means Ezekiel. All this tension was wearing me out, but knowing that both of them were there by my side, I felt a little better. And as I continued to play pretend for the rest of the day, the night came without warning.
Okay, so have they not introduced each other? Like, I assume maybe they didn't talk to each other even though they met each other like last night, which makes sense, but also shouldn't introductions be in order? I just think it's like the guard guy, the prince guy, which is great reference. Yes, but like you could say Leon or Ezekiel. They're so cute. It's just funny to me.
The second ball was as cheerful as the first one. There were people dancing, chatting, and just filling themselves up with food. This time, however, the jester gathered everyone to pay close attention to them. They said they had a very interesting story to tell. And as the music died slowly and the nobles started to sit down, the jester smiled, picking a strange scepter. Good evening, my wondrous aristocrats. Tonight, as a celebration of the princess's life, I'll entertain you with a lovely story, told not only by me, but also by my gorgeous assistant and Marot, Silas.
Oh, hello, Silas.
The scepter they were holding had a cute sculpted face, mimicking the jester's features. Say goodnight to everyone, Silas. The face only smiled, incapable of talking. Ah, everyone! He is shy! The nobles laughed amused. The jester continued. This tale is full of love, hate, and sadness. It will shake your oh-so-mighty souls with pity, and it will make you cheer for a happy ending. A happy ending that will never come. Ah ha 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 ha! But don't cry, my wonderful aristocrats. It's just a silly story I came up with while daydreaming. Well, shall we start?
Okay, story time.
A long time ago, there was a very foolish king. He would get bored pretty easily, so he was always looking for something to entertain him, be it drinks, music, or women. He would spend his days throwing parties, going to theaters, doing anything that could make him feel less bored. He met every single artist of his kingdom. He heard every single song by the bards. He danced with princesses and queens. But one day, he also got bored of it all.
Oh, okay.
So, he started to search all his kingdom for someone that could kill his boredom. And he searched for a long, long time, watching many plays from the most famous artists. But for him, they were all too boring. So artistic, so profound, their stories would bore him to death. Then, after his long search, he stopped his carriage in a lowly street, far from the theaters, far from all those intelligent people.
Okay, two kids approach him. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the silhouettes. There was this king, and now we have two silhouettes of these kids.
And as he sighed defeated, two kids approached him. Sir, would you like to be entertained? Oh, but how many times did he hear that line already? But one more wouldn't hurt, would it? So he said yes. And then the kids, both twins, started their presentation.
Oh, are they have lively expressions from what I can see.
Ha! But they were so clumsy, so terribly bad at everything. Their juggling balls would fall every time. Their magic tricks would be so easily spotted. A normal person would think the king would be offended being offered such a terrible show. But instead, he offered a place for them in the castle as jesters. They are naturals, he thought to himself. The twins looked at each other, thinking about the proposal. One of them was so happily shocked, desperate to accept and leave the streets. But the other one was worried about leaving their family behind, poor and alone. Which one do you think was smarter? The first one, of course.
Yeah, being a jester is such a prestigious occupation. If I was a poor kid, I would accept it without thinking twice. Couldn't we just have asked the king to, like, help your guys' family too? I know it's a story, but I assume something's happening. This is probably backstory for the jester.
Yes, of course.
Okay, but that's also the noble's, like, perspective. It's like such a prestigious occupation, but, like, at what cost?
And the smarter kid accepted the king's offer, while the other one refused. But the smart kid loved their brother and promised, one day, I'll come back and take you with me. A foolish promise that they could never fulfill, but even so, they made it. As the king took them away, the king continued to repeat the promise to themselves, while watching their brother's smile fading away in the distance. What they didn't know was that it would be the last time they would see their brother, because the king would never be bored of the jester's tricks, and so would never let them leave.
Dang, no work-life balance. We hate that.
Oh, but that's a wonderful ending.
They ascended into society and became a favorite of their king.
Such honor! Such a beautiful story! Oh, yes. Such a happy ending, isn't it? I disagree. Everyone looked at me, dumbfounded. Why is that, Princess Dulari? They died without their family. I never say they died, dear princess. I only said they never saw their brother again. That's even worse. If they loved their brother so much, wouldn't it be a torture to be apart? Incapable of fulfilling their promise? Wouldn't they spend their days wondering how their brother was? If he was okay? If he missed them as much as they did? If he was still waiting for them to come back? That's an awful ending. The room became deadly silent after my words. Everyone had a brooding expression on their faces. But the jester didn't let it linger for long. You are so funny, dear princess. As if the kid would miss their brother while being surrounded by such wealth and beauty. That's just stupid. They couldn't care less.
Who would want to go back to poverty?
The nobles around me started to agree with the jester, but as I heard them, I felt my heart sinking. How could they be this superficial? How could they not care about such a loss? I searched for Ezekiel and Leon in the room, and to my relief they were both frowning, silently disagreeing. My parents also had a slight frown on their faces, but stayed quiet. I could understand why. Speaking against a room full of people who disagree with you is terribly scary, and in the end, it would be pointless.
Well, I think that's enough for tonight. Thank you for your tale, Jester.
It is my ultimate pleasure, Your Highness. They bowed, and everyone clapped for their show. As the nobles scattered to their rooms, I felt someone's gaze on me and started to look around.
It's a jester. Okay, note on the story, yeah, it's sad. Like, obviously the nobles have this perspective that, like, wow, in this tale, the one who chose to go be a jester became rich and gained reputation and things that are deemed, like, generally in even today's society, things that are deemed good, it's becoming successful. And there's nothing wrong with, like, obviously chasing, like, career things, whatever, that's fine, but, like, there's a balance. What about your life? What about not seeing, like, your family, your friends, any of your loved ones ever again? Like, there was a choice, there was a sacrifice to all of that, and it was a lot. And it really does suck. I feel that. Personally, oh, it's like my point earlier, it's like, couldn't we have asked the king to bring our entire family, or at least support them on, like, some, not estate, but, like, whatever land a king has? They could do that, probably. But, like, the king didn't even offer, so whatever. But it would be a hard choice. I feel like I wouldn't want to leave my family. Like, there's one thing is, like, you could take the choice, but I don't know, I maybe would regret it, because I think it's also important to stay connected with the people that you care about. And it'd be very, very hard, even with this, like, quote-unquote success and this moving up in reputation and social status. How could you enjoy it all when, like, you're missing people who you care about? So, I get it. I'm with, like, Dulari and Leon and Ezekiel and the royal parents here. But anyways, let's get back to this. What is the jester doing? I like this, like, little illustration we get to see here.
The jester was staring at me from a corner of the room, completely still. And for the first time in ages, they weren't smiling. It felt deeply strange, but at the same time it suited them. I stared back for a while, wondering what they were thinking about. But their eyes were a dark carnival of feelings, silently loud, unnervingly calming.
Princess!
As Ezekiel approached me, followed by Leon, the jester started to smile again as usual and left the room. Ezekiel started to talk about things he discovered, but I was too distracted to pay attention. I could only stare at the door the jester went through, disappearing into the corridors. Something had changed. Something was different.
Okay. Okay, we're in our room. So, what we do know now is that the Jester is helping my father, and they were the one who put you and Dulari to sleep.
Wait, excuse me?
Yeah, they did that dark magic thing when the door opened.
How did you know? Leon took out a talisman from under his coat, showing it to everyone.
My mother gave me this talisman to protect me from dark magic. While you two were affected by the sleep spell, I managed to see who was casting it.
But they didn't realize anything.
I pretended I fell asleep right after.
I see.
Okay, good. Good. I love our little strategy debrief plan. Our strategy planning plus our debrief here.
Ezekiel had a worried expression on his face.
I barely noticed when I fell asleep. I only realized this morning.
Me too.
This dark magic thing is pretty dangerous, huh? But it's not invincible. I've come up with a plan. Listen closely. Okay, Leon, Prince Leon with a plan.
The plan was simple. Leon would go alone and convince his father that he was on his side. Then he would send a message through one of my servants, communicating what Suruvo was up to.
I'm going to encode the message so no one can discover our tactic.
Okay.
But when are we going to act? I don't know anything about this spy business. I believe my father is waiting for the supermoon to make his move. Until then, we can only prepare to stop him on the spot. I see.
I couldn't help but giggle. Ezekiel wasn't the patient type. He liked to make decisions and act quickly without thinking too much. Lucky for us, we had Leon, as his plan would never have worked without him. Though calculated, his every move was filled with courage, and I admired him greatly for that. Thanks, Leon.
For what?
For taking such a risk. You're not obligated to, but you're still doing your best to help us.
Blush. Well, it's nothing. I can't let my father's shenanigans affect the people I care about. Not anymore. Shenanigans! I love that. I love the word shenanigans. The people you care about, Leon? Don't think because I got stuck on the word shenanigans I didn't see that. The people you care about? Who are the people you care about, Leon? I'm teasing him. I'm so sorry.
His face suddenly started to redden, but Ezekiel seemed to ignore it.
Oh, Ezekiel. Yeah, I know the feeling. Let's do our best for the princess. They're so cute. Look at Ezekiel. He's like, it's for Dulari, right? Oh, you guys are on the same page. I love that.
Leon's eyes sparkled in agreement, and the two shook hands. I watched the scene with a funny feeling in my stomach, a kind of embarrassment and satisfaction. I was so happy just being there with them. My whole body was filled with a feeling of happiness, as light as soap bubbles. Shortly after, Leon suggested Ezekiel and I walk around the castle pretending we were sightseeing to see if there was anything different.
Okay, first spy mission.
If something went wrong and he couldn't send the message by the next day, we would go after that other lead and follow up with the investigation. I didn't like the idea of something going wrong, but it was better to be cautious than to debate.
We can start with the garden if you'd like, Princess. Hmm? Is there a problem?
Oh, it's nothing. Let's go. We walked down the halls side by side. The metallic clink of Ezekiel's armor brought me some comfort, as if it assured me that he was there, that he was ready to protect me, that I wasn't alone. We heard hurried footsteps running towards us. Instinctively, Ezekiel pulled me into an empty corner, alerted. We held our breath as we waited for the figure to pass. To my surprise, I recognized it immediately. It was my mother, the Queen. Her sobs were contained, but I could see she was crying. My first reaction was to extend my hands to help her, but I stopped in my tracks. What was she doing up at this hour? What would she say if she saw me awake, too? I gathered my hands to my chest, a worried expression on my face. Mother.
Okay, so the Queen's crying. So we didn't catch King Saruva and the Queen in their midnight rendezvous.
As her footsteps grew further and further away, I began to feel strangely short of breath, as if my lungs were refusing to breathe. Suddenly, I realized that the darkness where I had hidden seemed thicker, trying to slowly engulf me. I turned to Ezekiel to warn him, but to my surprise he was gone. Oh, Princess! A shiver ran down my spine, heavy hair on the back of my neck standing up. What are you doing awake at such a late hour? Go to sleep, dear Princess. You must be so tired. The shortness of breath turned into a heavy drowsiness, forcing my eyes to close, but I didn't want to sleep again. I had to fight, with everything and anything I had. Iris.
Oh, that's the Jester's name.
Their eyes widened at the mention of their name. I took 1, 2 steps, trying to move as I fought the urge to sleep. Iris. Why? They looked shocked, their eyes filled with many emotions battling against each other. Surprise, hate, sadness, fear. Fear. What were they afraid of? Stop! Don't come closer! I reached for them, my fingers almost brushing against their face. They took a step back and screamed, the voice cracking because of a lump in their throat. Leave me alone!
Okay, so we found out their name is Iris, but Dulari still succumbed to sleep from the darkness.
And the rest of the world fell into a deep slumber. Hey, Mom, it's the Jesters. Huh? I saw kids running through the streets to a lively corner of Lunessa's market. There, a small puppet theater was set up, consisting of colored cardboard and actors fashioned from cobs of corn. Why was this so familiar? There was silence for a moment as the theater waited for the children to settle down, and then one of the puppets popped up onto the scene. Hey, Silas, wake up! Ah, Iris, let me sleep some more. The children burst into high-pitched laughter as I watched intently. Wake up, wake up! Our wonderful guests are waiting for us. Ah, tell them to come tomorrow.
I don't know the voices anymore. I just made them up and I forgot already, so apologies.
Oh, come here. The puppet pulled the other from under the stage. The puppet pulled the other one from under the stage, forcing it to reveal itself. The poor creature actually looked sleepy, leaning against the cardboard with a sad face. Oh, I'm so sleepy. That's what you get for playing all night. But I couldn't sleep. If you had told me, I would have thrown a rock at your head. That way you'd go to sleep in no time. Another round of laughter. Iris, you're so annoying. I don't want to be your brother anymore. The puppet named Iris suddenly became serious, stung by the other's words. Oh, Silas, don't say that. I'm sorry. I don't want you to stop being my brother. I don't want to be here alone. Oh, Iris, I'm sorry for what I said. I don't want to stop being your brother either. Give me a hug. The two puppets leaned against each other, simulating an embrace, despite neither having arms or hands. And even though it was simple puppetry, something about that play made me want to cry. Now you better wake up!
Assuming that's the Jester. Oh.
I looked around the room, recognizing it as the Jester's room. For a moment I thought I was alone until I noticed two yellow eyes staring at me in the darkness. Huh? Iris, I remember you from that time when... Enough! A deadly silence filled the room, an ache buried deep in the chest. You haven't changed at all, Princess. You're still stupidly curious. They looked down, frowning. I just knew it would put you in danger sooner or later. Iris, why are you doing this? Before I became your Jester, Princess, you must know I was serving in the Consulex Kingdom. I wasn't born there, though. I'm Lunestian. I was born and raised in the streets you are going to inherit someday. One day, King Saruba found me and my brother and liked our tricks. Or better phrasing it, he liked how bad we were at performing them. He wanted us to become jesters in his castle. My brother didn't want to leave our family behind, but I wasn't going to miss the opportunity. So I went and promised that when King Saruba got bored of me, I would come back. The tale. So all this time, it was about them.
I mean, I figured, but makes sense. We don't know. Jester probably has a bunch of different tales. Who knew if this one was going to be true? But it also makes sense that it is.
They stared at the Marotte with melancholy. That day never came. Even when King Saruba sent me here, it wasn't because he didn't like me anymore, or because he wanted me to see my brother again. I was sent here to spy on the royal family, to see the weakness of King Karkaris, to try persuading Queen Vendashi to leave him.
What? That's a long game plan, like a long-term game that King Saruba is playing, to be honest. But that's not fair to Iris to have, like, to be used that way.
Even now, he doesn't plan on letting me go on after this. When I came here, I asked the servants about him. If I couldn't see him again, I could at least send him a letter saying I was fine, but... They made a pause, almost incapable of saying the next words. He was dead. He died years ago because of some disease. While I was living my life at another castle, filling myself with fancy foods and wearing expensive clothes, he was... Oh, Iris, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You didn't even know! I doubt anyone noticed. The day the streets got quieter, the day the puppets lost their voices, it must have been a relief for everyone. One less peasant on the street. Because no one cares about poor people. They aren't as interesting as the rich, wondrous, hollow aristocrats. They're a nuisance. Everyone just wants to get rid of them, to forget about them.
I don't know why my nose is like not actually congested, but I feel congested. I feel more like my nasal passage is blocked up. Why is this? Okay, sorry. I am hearing the Jester's message, and it is one of those where it's like, it's a sad fact of life, unfortunately. How society, not of life, but like how our societies are constructed. Oh, I'm so sorry though, Iris. It really sucks that your brother died. And that people who need care can't get it because of their, like, how much they, like, material sources they have. It's really unfair.
I walked into your dreams to scare you away, to show the darkness of this world. The darkness I carry for knowing all these things. Everything looks darker when you remember injustice exists. When you remember there are people suffering while you laugh. It makes you feel guilty, doesn't it? It should, right? But instead of running away or pretending it didn't exist, you just embraced everything inside yourself. All this loneliness, you didn't deny it nor reject it. You kept trying to reach me even though I was distant and obscure. Why? Do you think you can understand me? You, who lives in the heights of society? Your worries are nothing compared to ours. This guilt will kill you. It will paralyze you slowly from inside until you can't scream anymore. You can't do anything about it. It's just how the world works. Things were like this before, and will continue to be. So why would you waste your time pretending that you care? You won't gain anything from it. When I saw you looking at that mirror in my dream, I thought you looked lonely. You're always smiling at others, but at that moment I noticed that you weren't happy at all. Sometimes we just want to have someone we can count on, someone we can return to. So, even though I'm not supposed to, I wanted to become someone you could count on.
Dulari. I'm crying. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Dulari. Sweet child Dulari. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. See, she really does care. Dulari is just wonderful and amazing.
All this darkness you keep telling me is unbearable. I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to be there for you when you were absorbed in it. I just wanted to help you. Because you thought I was weak? Because I care about you. You're not only a jester, someone to entertain me when I'm bored and to be discarded right after. You're human. You live here with me and my parents. You're part of my family. You're important to me.
Oh. I would be crying. Don't mind me. I'm crying. Dulari's so, like, she's just so considerate. I love Dulari. Dulari is, like, she has so much love to give. And she does so. I think I've mentioned in other commentary before. She has so much love to give. And she does in her own ways. And I love to see it.
They looked away, going silent for a long moment. So long that I thought they weren't going to speak anymore. Just looking at them made my heart feel a great sadness. I hardly noticed when I had risen to my feet, my height towering over theirs. And without thinking,
are we giving the Jester a hug? Oh.
I hugged them. I'm sorry. For a moment they didn't react. For what? I couldn't help you. They remained stoic, but a subtle line formed on their forehead, an attempt to maintain a mask of neutrality. I don't care. You are as helpless as me. But I wish I could have done something. That way you didn't have to suffer so much. It's fine. It was hard to fight the tears and all that sadness contorting their face. I'm used to it. That word seemed to pierce the Jester's soul, a key that unlocked a stream of tears and sobs. It was half a lie, half a reality, but painful regardless. Iris began to cry silently, hiding their face in the fabrics of my dress. I stroked their hair as they cried, a movement that felt natural to me. You shouldn't be.
Oh.
They sighed, detaching from the hug. The world is unfair, Dulari. It doesn't need to be. You talk as if someone could change the world, how the world works. No, that's not what I meant. What I mean. When I say that the world doesn't have to be unfair, it's because we can be the justice of the world in small ways. Being gentle to others around us, being gentle to ourselves.
Good reminder, Dulari. Gentle to yourself too, not just to other people.
Nice, naive people get crushed. You have to be cruel to survive. I didn't say to be naive, I said to be fair. Those are different things. They paused for a moment, thinking over my words. But before they could say anything, King Saruva entered the room, accompanied by... Oh, my father!
Dulari, what are you doing here?
I can ask you the same.
King Saruva, sweating. Spare me this nonsense, please.
With a snap of Saruva's fingers, all my drowsiness returned. My father also seemed under the spell, his eyelids growing heavier and heavier.
Let's get on with it, Iris.
Yes, sir. I turned to them, worried, but they just stared back at me, the smile facade on their face again. It is going to be okay, princess. And for some reason, I trusted them.
Okay, we're trusting them. Okay. Okay, what's gonna happen? Finally! Let's start the preparations for the ritual, shall we?
Okay. Saruva pulled the body of King Karkaris into a large circle drawn on the ground. I'm assuming that Dulari is out cold, but I will use her voice for narration purposes. He began reciting magic words, causing the symbols to glow and the spell to begin. But Iris, staring at the Marot, had an idea. And when Saruva's soul left his body, Iris threw the Marot into the circle.
Oh, so you're trapping him in there. Okay, interesting.
Huh? It's raining. I got out of bed feeling a little dizzy. I feel like I had a very strange dream, but I can't remember what happened. Someone knocked at my door softly. Princess, breakfast is ready. Oh, right, thanks. Oh, right, thanks. I'm on my way.
Sometimes I think I can kind of do a British accent, and kind of, but not really.
The castle seemed to be quieter than usual. My footsteps echoed with a certain force through the empty space, even with the drops of rain.
Ooh, I like how gloomy and rainy it looks. I like that we get to see this background. It's very cool.
I looked at the windowsill, feeling an odd familiarity, as if I was supposed to find someone there. Pushing those thoughts aside, I continued on to the ballroom. There, my birthday guests were all gathered for the last time, getting ready to leave in a little while. I sat next to Leon, who looked thoughtful. Did something happen?
You don't remember.
Remember what?
You know what? It's not important. I'm glad you're well, princess.
I hope you enjoyed the party.
It was a lot of fun, if I may say so myself.
I'm glad.
Oh, cute.
Not far away, Ezekiel had been summoned by the Jester to participate in a trick. Pick a card, and don't tell me which it is. Ezekiel picked up a card, looked at it, then put it back in the deck. I will guess which card you chose.
I doubt it.
Ha ha! I like people like that. The Jester shuffled the cards, then went through them one by one until they stopped in the middle and showed the card to Ezekiel. Was this the one? Ezekiel's expression was pure surprise, shock, and delight. All the guests had the same expression.
How did you guess?
Ha ha ha, it's a secret. After the introductions, my parents began exchanging goodbyes with the guests. Everyone was satisfied with the celebrations and were already thinking of my next birthday. Hopefully, it wouldn't be as tense as this one. I accompanied the guests to the castle entrance, several carriages already lined up just waiting to leave. The rain was weak and soft, embracing everyone into a cool mood. Leon turned to me, a playful expression on his face. For some reason, I thought the rainy mood matched him.
Welcome to the world of adults.
Thank you. Have a safe trip, Leon.
Take care. You too.
Leon took a few steps towards his carriage until he was intercepted by the Jester. They stared at each other for a moment until the Jester held out their hand, offering them a rote. Leon stared at the object, not understanding, until the Jester whispered some words that made Leon jolt. Shortly afterwards, though, he picked up the remote, a serious expression on his face.
Thank you. Okay, so that's his father's in there? Question mark?
As the carriages were pulling away, Ezekiel appeared beside me, the deck of cards in his hands.
I've looked through all the cards, but there's nothing marked. I still don't understand how they did it.
It's magic, Ezekiel.
Magic? Okay.
Don't you believe in magic, Knight?
I find it hard to believe in something I can't see.
Understandable, but there are more invisible things building your existence than you might think.
Like what?
Your past. Can you see it here by any chance? That took Ezekiel by surprise.
No. But that's different from magic. I was there when it happened. It's part of me.
Magic, too. Sometimes people are magical in their own right, in their own way of seeing the world. The Jester looked at me for a moment, the practiced smile looking strangely genuine. I couldn't resist and ended up smiling back even though I didn't understand. Magic is just words, Knight. You should believe more in them. Ezekiel looked a little confused, but he gladly took the advice. As we walked back inside the castle, I couldn't help but feel thoughtful. I felt so old, but at the same time, I also still felt like a child. You're in your 20s. Yeah, party for Dulari. I mean, it's post-party, but you know. Whoop whoop. Beginning of the 20s. The whole world lay before me, and I held what little I knew of it in my hands. I had no idea what the future would be like, and I didn't even understand the past, but maybe the world wasn't so scary after all. Maybe our lonely souls that wander for so long, craving for company, for a place to belong to, can in the end find their place under the stars. I believed in it.
Yes, under the stars. That's where our souls all belong. Wow, that was such a fun secret route. Not gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be a little bit more gruesome than I thought, but I was like, why would I think that? But it's kind of, even though in the other routes, things get resolved pretty nicely. I don't know why I thought in the secret route that is gonna be more dark, but I'm really glad how it turned out, and it's such a sweet message overall. Well, there's a few messages, there's themes. It's obviously like, the injustice you see in the world, how do we change it? Obviously, it's not something that, I mean, as individuals, we can do a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I was going into commentary mode. I was gonna say, as individuals, we can do a lot in our own ways, and those things add up. It may seem impossible, but the small things matter. But anyways, Dulari.
This was a long day, but I'm not sleepy yet. I think I'll take a look at the stars before going to bed.
They look very nice.
I looked up, watching the starry sky, glittering in all its humbling glory. For a moment, it looked just as any other night. The sky stayed still, almost stoic. But then, a constellation. It looks like a jester.
Does it? I can't see.
And they're playing with...
Oh, your brother? Oh, your star?
My star. Oh, so that's their star.
The Jester?
The star of solitude? Though it didn't look as sad as I expected it to be, the star whirled across the sky, dancing with the Jester as they were friends who haven't seen each other in a long time. I could almost hear them laughing in the distance, wrapped in a warm and sweet happiness. Somehow, solitude didn't feel as bad or as lonely as before. Ah, you're awake, Princess. Oh, yes, I just thought I might stargaze for a while before going to sleep. Nice thinking, nice thinking. Can you see it up there? It's you. Huh? Me? Yeah, you are playing with the Star of Solitude. I am. Oh my! To be the jester of such glamorous deity. I would die of happiness before doing any trick. Oh, don't say such things. You're better alive than dead. You think so? Of course. Would you cry if I died, Princess?
Oh. Oh, look at them at the balcony. We're all so cute. Oh my gosh, Dulari looks so cute. And the Jester's just like, they're looking out. Oh, we're stargazing together.
I would. The night suddenly got quieter. I was embarrassed for admitting that and a bit scared of the jester's reaction, but I would too, if you died. They didn't look at me, but I could see their genuine smile blooming on their face. Oh, that delicate moment of vulnerability, a sight to keep in my memory forever. But don't think of such sad things, dear princess. Darkness doesn't suit your beautiful smile. As I looked at the stars again, the dancing jester and solitude smiling together, I felt that maybe in all my loneliness, I was destined to do that too, to rejoice in simple foolishness, wearing my melancholy as a glittering dress. Instead of the cold, lonely stones of the castle or the piercing eyes of those bored and judging nobles, I could look up at the sky and just dance under the stars.
Oh. Oh, that was the post-credits end scene that I love to see. Okay, I really like this. The Secret Route is so fun. I'm glad we learned more about the Jester and their story. It's sad that they lost their brother so early and they, made a decision to like leave to like, again, like that's fair for their career, for their wealth, whatever, but it was sad that they weren't able to see their brother until it was too late. And I like that we get to see how Dulari and the Jester kind of connect and show their support for each other, and it's very cute. I had fun with this route. I also, more or less kept the Jester's voice the same, so I'm very proud of myself. But yeah, I just love all this like backstory that we're kind of getting, because I had a lot of questions when we saw the Jester before in Ezekiel and Leon's routes, so I'm glad that a lot of those questions are answered. I don't know if I have any. I'll have to think if I have any other questions that I want to know more about, but I have to think about it for a bit. This was such a I knew there was a secret route, but I didn't think I'd like it like as much as I do. Like I thought I'd like it, but I really like this route. So props to the game dev, Helen. This was wonderful. It's given me a lot to think about, and I like games that give me a lot to think about. And again, I've said it all already. I love the story, the art, the music is fun. Apparently, though, side note is that the music is technically copyrighted, but it's allowed for use on YouTube, so I'm totally fine. If you were wondering about that, but I also like the music, so that's also fun. Anyways, I feel like I'm rambling and I'm not having super coherent thoughts, but I just like that we get also a little bit more about like Dulari and her realizing like there's a gentleness that you can give to others, but also to yourself. That's important, and there's also things about how you live your life. And I like that she comes to the realization about her life is not exactly like all doom and gloom and such, just because her star is under like the star, like her star is the star of solitude. So that's really nice, and she kind of comes to that realization without any intervention from her star, which is good. I'm rooting for you, Dulari. You'll be a great queen of Lunest. I know it. It's gonna be wonderful. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. This was the last part of Under the Stars on my channel, since those were all 3 of the routes. Let me know in the comments which of the routes has been your favorite and why, or just tell me things you like from each of the routes or whatever. I'd love to talk more about Under the Stars, whether it's about the characters in particular, the story, the art, etc. I'd be happy to chat. Yeah, please like the video if you haven't already, and if you would like to see more playthroughs of visual novels from various indie game developers in the future, please subscribe. That's what I do on this channel. I like playing a lot of these indie visual novels. It's just, again, great to see everyone with their wonderful stories and games. And Under the Stars has been such a wonderful experience that it's going to give me a lot to think about for a long time, and I'm going to have to come back to it at some point and think and reflect lots. So thank you Helen, this has been great. Anyways, yeah, like the video, subscribe if you'd like to see more on my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.